Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, and for a lot of you, that means the kiddos are officially back to school. Good luck. So while it's an exciting time, it can also bring more than just those first day jitters. For some kids, new teachers, academic pressure, and just navigating friendships are all things that can bring on real anxiety. So in today's Taking Inventory, which is a very special segment for me, let's find out how you parents out there can help your kids start the year feeling confident, but most importantly, supported. So here to chat with us is Ednium, which I absolutely love, the Managing Director of Programs and Operations, Leilani Ramos. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. New mom.
Yes.
I'm so happy for you. Along with two Ednium alumni, Isaac and Yasmin.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Hey. Hi. So thankful for you guys taking the time out. Leilani, before we start, I want to ask you to tell the people, what is Ednium? Because I think it's so vital in our community.
Yeah, so Ednium, the Alumni Collective, is a nonprofit organization based here in Denver supporting metro area alumni, not just Denver Public Schools alumni, but alumni from all over the Denver metro area. We were co-founded by two DPS alum. Now we do some community development work in the areas of leadership development, in the areas of research and policy, all in service of getting alumni the support they need to feel agency in their life and be able to thrive here in the Denver metro area.
I remember being an alumni and not knowing what I was doing, and I could have really used your help. And I think it's so vital and a hole in the industry that we need to fill, especially for kids. Okay, back to school. It's very anxious, but how can a parent, and this is important, Leilani, tell the difference between, just like jitters and like there's something wrong. Like this has gone beyond regular anxiety.
Well, everyone has back to school jitters, right? From littles entering kindergarten for their first time to older kiddos, maybe pursuing high school or pathways, even post-secondary pathways.
Yeah.
Nerves are normal.
Good, because I had those.
I still have them,
I have them all the time, every day.
Nerves are normal. It's when it stays consistent and when people continue to have, feelings of anxiousness or overwhelming anxiety. Parents, you know your kids best, right? And so be able to tell what's, maybe normal for back to school or what's super expansive or what lingers for longer than expected. At Ednium, the Alumni Collective, we see nerves as a piece of our mental health perspective.
Agreed.
And physical and mental well-being being such a cornerstone to the work that we do. We take the approach of a holistic mental health approach, so not only traditional medicine being therapists and other official capacities, but also physical and mental well-being. What does it mean to be outside?
Yes,
what does it mean to be active?
Touch some grass.
Exactly. Get some fresh air.
Yeah, right.
So that's the way we approach it at Ednium, the Alumni Collective.
I like that a lot. And I think it's important when you see your kids' baseline change.
Yes.
This is an alert here. Isaac, hi. So when you think of back to the school for New Year, were you really anxious? And is it something that the adults picked up on? Talk to me about your experience.
I think being anxious and being just nervous in general for the first day of a new school year can be challenging, and it's definitely nerve-wracking. But I think it's part of the experience. I think for me, the most nervous thing and most thing that was anxious to me was still navigating my sense of belonging and finding out who I was as an individual and who I was becoming. I think what was critical about this point in my life was having a network and a support system that was able to be there whenever I needed to have a conversation or when I just needed someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And so I think that's critical in success. I was fortunate to have that from high school all the way to college, so I think it definitely plays a role.
Yeah, that's why we have Ednium. Because some parents don't know. I mean, some parents or teachers are just not aware, and you need that support still, which I think is brilliant. Yasmin, what do you wish, like your perfect wish, that counselors or other adults would better have understood as you were going through things?
Yeah, I think for me, my counselors at the time were of my other counterparts, right? And so navigating the education system looked a little bit different for them than it was for me. And so, there's not one size fits all when it comes to navigation support or just support in general for anybody who's navigating post-secondary pathways. So I would say, just be encouraging, and reaffirming of the different emotions and phases that maybe students or people in general are feeling and not really unsure or sure of how to navigate. So
yeah, that's important that you curate it to each kid or a young adult, because it's like not everyone has the exact same thing. You know, my thing was friendships. That was a really hard thing for me, and belonging. Whoo! I don't want to go back there. I belong here. Okay.
Right.
Leilani, you work very close with the students and alumni. There are things that young people tell you about anxiety that they may not be telling their parents. Can you share with us some of that? Because it can get really deep and dark.
It can, yeah. But anecdotally from our alumni, even some one-on-one conversations I've had with alumni from around the metro area, they talk about how some anxiety can get to a point where it impacts all other facets of their life, right? It can impact their relationship with their parents. It can impact whether or not they choose to go and hang out with their friends. And so that's why at Ednium we do see, like, we know we've come a long way in mental health supports for young people, but we want to continue to advocate for young people to have access, whether it be through insurance or through schools. We want them to be able to have access to mental health supports and whatever that looks like for them.
Bravo.
And we also want to continue to foster places of community, places where students can feel that sense of belonging that we talked about. The places
Other
where
kids feel this.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And it's not just one student, but all students.
Yeah, and especially with kids, you have social media, you have school shooting.
Oh my gosh.
Mine was like, am I wearing the right shoes? You know, it was like way different. What have you carried, Isaac, through that you've learned from Ednium?
I think the biggest thing that I've carried, along with the lessons, are pretty much. So when I was doing the deep dive, I lost someone that was really close to me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So that experience itself and the holistic healthcare workshop, as well as the community that I was able to find, gave me, allowed me to redefine what well-being was for me. And so
interesting.
I think prior to Ednium, I very much so thought that well-being consisted of just the physical aspect of it.
Right.
You know, looking back at it now, I was able to find that it's much more than that. It's the spirit, the mind, the body. And so learning those new things, I was able to tap into new ventures that would allow me to pour into these new avenues, such as stretching, being mindful, meditating, such things like that. And so I think pointing into myself allowed me to point into my community.
That's beautiful. I gotta say, I think meditation should be taught at every single school to be able to handle what's going on. I absolutely agree. Yasmin, I have about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
How do you feel like joining Ednium, expanded your mental health journey? Similar to what I asked Isaac.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing. You know, it really just reminded me that the medicine and the teachings we already have. We have the gatherings, right? We have the event sessions with our superiors or our big sisters, big brothers. And so figuring out how to name that in different ways that already exist, right? There's women's circles that exist, you know what I mean? Or there's other organizations that are focused on holistic well-being and healthcare. And so they definitely helped me point out what those spaces in Denver were, and really I've been able to immerse myself in it. So it's been nice.
Unbelievable. You guys look very calm and very well done. So for more information on this vital program, it's called Ednium, and how you can get involved, I want you to go to ednium.org or find them on Instagram at Ednium Alumni. You might not think your kid needs it, but they do. So thank you both and all of you. Thank you, Leilani, for being here.